Shalom, Israel. First, I want to start by giving all honor, praise, and glory to yahawah, bahasham, bahasham, raka, quadash. Double honors into the elders and apostles, GMS, great millstone, who help me sharpen my iron in this truth. And shalom to hopeful like brothers out there pushing this truth and honesty and sincerity. My name is Yeshaya, and I'm doing a video on the topic being ye newer brothers, tread carefully, right? Being new in this truth, for a very long time, you have to stop talking. You have to just listen, right? You have to just be very careful on say you make videos, you got to be careful what you talk about, right? Because you could very easily say the wrong thing, and that's not right? If you're saying the wrong things, you're going off, right? So you have to be extremely careful with the position that you're in. So if you're in a position where you're making videos or you're going to camp, right, you got to be on point. You can't just be like, fuck it, and say wing it. And that goes kind of with the lesson I posted last, which is about fear. You have to fear yahawashi ultimately to understand that, right? You have to fear the Lord, that you will receive his judgments if you're going off and misleading his people, right? So, just to bring an example, I go to camp, right? And I have precepts flowing through me, like so many precepts. These brothers will say something, precept, right? And I want to say something, and I really want to just be like, hey, brother, like, you know what I mean? But I can't, and that's how it's supposed to be. The elder apostle Tahar, new brothers that go to camp, don't say shit, don't say nothing, right? And it's kind of hard when you have that zeal, but when you're earlier in the truth, you have a zeal not according to knowledge. You're baptizing it in the name of Yahawah, but you are not yet on that level, because there's levels to this, right? You may not think that there's levels to this, but there's levels to this. I don't know, like, even close to probably even 10%, if that, of what these brothers know, right? They could read the scriptures in the Hebrew backwards. Like, these brothers can really do things like that, right? And that's the gift from Yahawah that I don't have yet, because I have not earned that, right? And you have to learn, you have to endure, you have to hold steadfast and let the Spirit test you for you to be able to get to that position. It's a right, not it's a privilege, not a right. Shalakia. It's a privilege, not a right, So the brother was telling me he was in camp, and for a whole year, he didn't say a single thing. And then after a while, he was able to hold the sign. He was able to hold the sign for like 4 months. And after 4 months of holding the sign, he was able to read for somebody, like read the precepts for somebody for however many months, and just to get a space to speak. But not a very long space, just a space to speak, right? And that's a whole process of building. You have to be built up in his truth to be able to do things like that. If you're doing videos, you have to be careful what you post and be careful what you say, If you feel like your video, you might have said something wrong, don't post the shit. You don't have to post it, right? You can contact someone, is this right? Am I talking about this right? Or, always revise and re-edit and try to go back in there, right? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna go off if you're saying the wrong things, right? So let me get the scriptures. It says Sirach, the 3rd chapter in the 24th verse, and it says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinions, and an evil suspicion hath over their own judgment, right? So this truth isn't an opinionated thing. This is a fact, right? The doctrine of GMS, the great millstone, is a fact, right? And you got to understand the proper breakdowns and the proper facts, to be able to earn your stripes. The scriptures say, study to show thyself proved, right? If you have not proved yourself, you haven't earned your stripes in this truth, you have no space to speak or to say the wrong things, and that the goes in fear, because I'm scared to go into certain things and certain topics, because I don't want to say the wrong thing, and that's just a matter of the fact, you should be scared to say the wrong thing, right? Because that's how serious it is, right? And it says in the 25th verse, without eyes thou shalt want light, profess not the knowledge, therefore that thou hast not. Satan, bro. Profess not the knowledge, therefore that has not. So do not say the things. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't say it, right? And that goes into the whole thing about making videos. Some people have the spirit to do more. Some people have the capacity to be able to perform more and learn more, but they've earned that, right? It is given from Yahawah specifically to that person, right? And let me get that. And it's it's kind of a precept to it. So you shouldn't try to bite off more than you can chew, essentially, right? And this is Sirach, the 3rd chapter, and it says the 21st verse said, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength, right? So you cannot bite off more than you can chew. This truth is about quality and not really quantity, right? Are you putting in the time? And is that time quality? You know, or are you just reading, and not even understanding what you're reading? Sometimes you have to read the same chapter 6, 7, 10 times just to make sure that you know what you're reading, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Are you understanding what it is that you are taking in? You know? Because what point is it? Almost like the lifters say, you know, heavy weight doesn't make you strong. A fucking rep makes you strong, right? So this, you know, a lot of words don't make you wise. Understanding what's in the words is what makes you wise, right? And when it comes to making videos and going to camp, you should always go to camp. It's not hard to go to camp. If you have work that's in the way, then that's just work, you know, that you can't do anything about that, right? But videos, you know, you should try to. Not everyone is in the same position. That's the funny part about this. It's a balance. Not everyone has the same spirit, and not everyone is in the same position, you know? And that's no excuse to go like a whole fucking 4 months without being in the videos. If you've been awoken in this truth, and you've been in this truth for about 2-3 years, right? Or some fast at a time where you have the knowledge, you know the real name, you know a little bit of Hebrew, you've been going to camp, you've been watching videos, you've been reading a lot, you know, and you're able to have enough wisdom to teach what you know, right? The brother told me, teach what you know, right? If you know something, teach it, right? If you know the dietary laws, teach the dietary laws. If you know a couple scriptures on anger, or a couple scriptures on peace, a couple scriptures on whatever it is that you want to bring up, teach it, right? And teach it correctly, you know? And the quantity of videos, it's just quality videos, right? Quality videos, and you should be consistent, you know? Be dedicated, as the apostles say, right? Because people, they claim to be prophets and they claim to be this and that, but they're not dedicated to making videos on a consistent basis, right? And they're able to. They're able-bodied young men or older men, and they have the knowledge of bahasham, and they are not making the videos. That is an issue, and the apostles make a decree about that, right? So at the end of the day, it's a finicky topic, but you should be able to know what it is that you're able to perform, all right? You should be able to know what it is that you're able to bite off. You know, I know I'm probably able to do video every single day. Sometimes you're not going to catch the spirit for a few days. The apostle Gabar said that. Maybe 2 days you're not going to catch the spirit. But guess what? You know, that third day, you might catch fire, you know? But this is a part of the work. This is the work. This is that plow, you know? Following the law, statutes, commandments, fearing the Lord, having faith, enduring to the end, feeding his flock. It says, if you love me, you feed my flock, right? And we have the internet to do that, which makes it easy, right? You know, you go to the camp, you show your face, you're there with the brothers, you give support, right? And eventually, you know, you will be built up, right? And let me get Sirach 15, and let's get Sirach 15 and 11. It says, say not thou, it is the Lord that I fell away, for oughtest not to do the things that he hateth. Say not thou, he hath caused me to err, for he hath no need of a sinful man. The Lord hateth all abominations, and they that fear yahawah love it not, right? So being in his truth, you know, if you're saying the wrong things, you're going off. That is an abomination to the Lord. And if you keep doing that, you only have so many times to fuck up, and then the Lord's going to do you away, right? You know, 1 Timothy 3:6, lest not a novice be lifted up with pride, or he fall into the condemnation of the devil, right? So there's only so many times you can fuck up before you're going to get completely fucked up, right? That's the fear of the Lord. It's going to happen if you're not careful. And this is just kind of like, that's why I wanted to make this video, because you have to be very, very careful. On 10 fucking toes, trying your hardest to be precise, be on point, right? Because the fear of the Lord, he's gonna get you. He's not lax in his promise. He's going to chasten you for that, right? And Lord forbid you just be completely done away with out of this truth as a whole, right? So hopefully that was edifying. Lastly, I want to end with giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, raka, quadash, and shalom.